So good afternoon, everyone. It is Mitchell, aka the Walker in Orlando. Welcome back to Universal Orlando, to Universal Studios Florida, as we are going to be doing a complete tour or complete guide of Halloween Horror Nights this year, aka Halloween Horror Nights 32, Halloween Horror Nights 2023, all of the above. So this year, Halloween Horror Nights has 10 scary houses. They have 5 scare zones, potential of some Death Eaters coming along, as long as also with a brand new show that is a continuation of the last two years, and all of the different foods. So we're going to be going through every single aspect that there is of Halloween Horror Nights, giving you a complete guide of what to expect for this year's Halloween Horror Nights, with the fact that we are less than 3 weeks away from Horror Nights debuting and starting up until from September 1st to November 4th. So make sure we're going to head on in. Make sure you hang out with me as we do a complete guide of Halloween Horror Nights this year. So the very first location we're going to be actually stopping off is right here at the front of the park. The front of the park is no longer a safe zone from a scare zone. They've actually moved the scare zone up from where between Minion Mayhem and Minion Blast is, up to right next to the NBC Today Cafe. And it looks like they take up the whole corner, going from in front of the Universal Studio Store, Today Cafe, all the way down to where the Hollywood section starts. So this scare zone is going to be Dr. Oddfellow's collection of horror. Dr. Oddfellow will lure you into Halloween Horror Nights with a promise of immortality. As he lifts the veil on the horrors coming, you'll soon realize you may not even survive the night. Dr. Oddfellows has not only a scare zone, but he does have he does also have a haunted house as well. So we're going to be talking more about that when we get over there. But this is the first scare zone we see right off the bat. So our very next stop is going to be right into the Hollywood section, and it's going to be the Dark Zodiac. Here, all the way, one of the largest scare zones every year for Horror Nights. So the Dark Zodiac this year, Dr. Oddfellow has entered a dark dimension to harness the power of the Zodiac and live forever. Remember about the whole immortality? He twists the signs into malevolent beings who foretell your doom. As the stars rises, yours falls. So very exciting for this one. This is always usually one of my favorite scare zones because of the length and everything else. So really excited for this scare zone. All right, so since Universal hasn't given us an official map yet of Halloween Horror Nights this year, we're running all off on the speculation map that we see every year, and we always think the rumor is that it's a Universal employee running it to do it. It's not the case, but still fun to see this. So based on the speculation map, once you get past the Dark Zodiac, this is going to be where your first house is going to be more than likely going to be. This first house is going to be Universal Monsters Unmasked. Once again, we're going with another Universal. So this is going to be 4 Universal Monsters, 1 new nightmare. You'll descend into the Paris catacombs, where you and your squad, still love the squad thing, will face a new horde of monsters: Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, the Phantom of the Opera, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and the Invisible Man. Now, in years past, this has been one of my favorite houses. Usually top 2, always top 2, I feel like. I think last year it was back and forth, but I definitely do love it. I'm real excited for this house. So now we are up to our 3rd scare zone out of 5, which is always the best, I think one of the coolest things to do every year. We're going to be coming up to Jungle of Doom, Expedition Horror. In the 1920s, Dr. Oddfellow, really very big person here, ventured deep into the darkest jungles, performing horrific experiments on nature. Now his monstrous creations are running amok and are coming after you. Really excited for this one because this is a small scare zone, usually very limited space, so you get really good scares through here. As you can see also right here, we do have some of the food trailers that are going to be out for Halloween Horror Nights and everything else. And we do have kind of a big gap here between here and through Springfield. So we're going to talk about some of the food items that will be happening for this year's Horror Nights. So one of the food items we'll be getting this year is we're going to be getting a Surfer Boy French Hawaiian bread pizza. It's going to be with crispy Spam, pineapple chutney, jalapeno scallions, and mozzarella. There will also be a vegan option as well for this. Another one of the options, we're going to have a walking taco. Frito chips topped with taco beef, shredded mozzarella, black beans, queso, pico de gallo, shredded lettuce, sour cream, and cilantro. And there will also be a vegan option of this as well. Alright, so here on the speculation map, this is going to be the next location right outside of the Men in Black gift shop and next to the Coca-Cola store. you're going to have The Last of Us presented by PlayStation. So it's going to be the PlayStation Last of Us, not the new show one. So you'll step into the world of The Last of Us. You and your squad will encounter the haunting and overgrown world of the video game in a brand new, terrifying way. Stay silent if you want to survive a multitude of clickers, hunters, and more. I've never seen or played or done anything with The Last of Us, so I'm really excited to see this. So I may watch some Last of Us gameplay, getting an idea what I'm expecting for this. So that's going to be right here, next to the Men in Black gift shop and outside the Coke store. There usually is a second house, but this doesn't show us having a second house over in that area, so we'll see. Alright, so based on the speculation map, once you get past the vacation planning booth and right before where Fear Factor used to go, the stadium over here, you have our next house, actually our next two houses. So the first one is going to be The Darkest Deal. Fame is fleeting, beer is forever. Blue musicians Pine Straw Spruce will have to face the music after meeting the collector and trading his soul for musical glory. You and your squad learn the terrible price of fame. And then this one will be next to Dr. Oddfellow's Twisted Origins. This is how we learn of him. Your soul is a price he is for sure willing to pay. You won't be able to resist going inside Dr. Oddfellow's menacing menagerie of twisted oddities, but the price for you and your friends is steep. The cost of your souls to feed his immortal power. So I'm so excited about this one. Actually, this has been one of the coolest. In fact, they're really kind of tying a bunch of the scare zones back to Dr. Oddfellows. Really showcases how much thought and everything goes into these every single year. So now we're also here outside of the Fear Factor location, and this is where we're going to have our new stage show this year, which is still an extension on the previous years. This is going to be our Nightmare Fuel Revenge Dream. This features a new dreamer confronting the creatures that have been turning her dream into nightmares. And man, I would tell you what, the choreography, the flames, just the pyro, everything with this is always super amazing, and I love this show every single year, especially when sometimes they choose some really fun music. So here is another one of the food booths area that will be out here, and since we are at to another food booth, I think we're going to go ahead and talk about a couple more food items that are, a lot of the food items we've heard about, these are coming from the spiel, I can't remember what it's called. So the next thing we're going to be looking at is the Left Behind ravioli, mini cheese ravioli with marinara, truffle cream, and tempura fried gnocchi mushrooms. And then we have the peanut blutter burger, smash burger with peanut butter sauce, raspberry jelly, cheddar cheese, shaved onions, jalapeno bacon, and cherry peppers on a vampire bun. And since we're right here, we'll go ahead and we'll look at this. We'll see the burnt-in poutine, crisp fries topped with beefless burnt ends and gravy, vegan cheese, and scallions. This is a vegan option, though it sounds very good for a vegan option. Well, in years past, this area and Diagon Alley have been a point of essentially safety from Horror Nights. That is not the case this year, because for this year, Diagon Alley will be transforming and be bringing the Death Eaters. The Death Eaters now make their grand appearance here at Diagon Alley, which is something we have said for years. Why did they not do this? Because they always do it over at Hogsmeade. Wondering why they never did Diagon Alley. But officially, as of this year, we get Death Eaters here, and I'm so excited for that because I add a whole new aspect to where you can't even hide in Diagon Alley away from all this other scary stuff. All right, so now we're going to come up to our next scare zone. This is going to be Shipyard 32, go along with Halloween Horror Nights 32. Horrors Unhinged. Enter a 1940s San Francisco shipping yard full of mysterious crates and cages bearing Dr. Oddfellow's symbol. Beware, his nightmarish oddities have now escaped, spreading fear and chaos in their wake. This is the one scare zone that I always get very frustrated with, though, because it is very little space, very small amount of space to go through, so it gets really hard to get through there, especially if they have a lot of things going on. All right, so right outside of Fast and Furious, right past the San Francisco area, we are coming up to our next haunted house, and this is going to be Chucky Ultimate Kill Count. Chucky's back for even more carnage. Chucky, the serial killer doll, is back for new gore fest. He's hijacked his own haunted house with all kinds of bloody hijinks, and your friends must try to survive his ultimate kill count. And it's even fun is not only does he have his house, but across the way, he has his own food booth. Now, Chucky's always been a very big staple here for Halloween Horror Nights, and I'm really glad. This is actually the first thing they announced when they were announcing all the houses and everything, because Universal really loves to just drag everything along when it comes to this. Like I said, right across the way, you do have Chucky's Good Guy Goodies, aka the Chucky goods and like foods and everything else. So this is gonna be really fun to see what they have here, and we'll actually talk about what they might have here and a couple more food items that have been testing out with all the pre-Halloween Horror Nights stuff. So we're gonna have a bloody campground poutine, crispy fried topped with Asian-inspired gravy, char suey roasted pork, cheese curd, scallions, and crispy fries. Also as well, we have the fried till the end chicken. Fried popcorn chicken tossed in Nashville hot sauce drizzled with ranch, topped with scallions and chili threads. Here's one that I think a lot of us will catch on. This is the Hellfire mini cake, layered chocolate cake with mango, cayenne filling, and topped with a chocolate guitar. This one themed for Stranger Things. Another thing they've got themed back here, a lot of people are saying this is theming towards The Last of Us. And so you kind of have this little walkway in behind where the Starbucks is and everything else. So it looks like we'll have like a small scare zone here that's not really tied to anything. But this is really cool to see all of this back here, especially considering they're just trying to give you little stuff. It looks like they also have another food booth right back here as well. So kind of fun. And our last scare zone is going to be Vamp 69, Summer of Blood. At a 60s music fest in a small New York town, you'll jam to popular bands with fellow concert goers until Dr. Oddfellows unleashes vicious vampires on the audience. They are out for your blood. So this is going to be the other big one that's right here in the New York section, right outside the Mummy. And what's always cool, it sounds like they're going to have vampires and regular people as well, which is always fun. This is where the candy one was last year. And also the question is this coming back as a tribute store? Because nothing on the outside showcases it. We're still 3 weeks out, so we'll see what the tribute store is going to be going. Because they usually open the tribute store about a week before Horror Nights does start. But it is also open during the week as well. So you can go in there and buy any of your Halloween Horror Nights merch or anything else you might need over in that area. Right outside this area, right underneath where Rip Ride Rocket is, this is where 3 of our houses are going to be. One of them being right behind where Jimmy Fallon is, and then 2 right here. This is usually an entrance for 2 of them right here. So the first one we have, and I don't know exactly because, again, I'll show you a speculation map, what they have. Again, we don't know where everything's going to be going. However, this is going to be the case of one of probably the most popular house this year. But the first one we're going to be going with is Dueling Dragons, Choose Thy Fate. No matter who you choose, you still lose. 2 warlocks of great powers were turned into dragons, and after trying to take Merlin's spellbook, now you and your friends are caught in their epic battle. You must choose a path and a victor. And I love this because this really goes on to the old effect of Dueling Dragons over at Universal or Islands of Adventure, which is now replaced by Hagrid's. The other one is going to be Blood Moon, Dark Offerings. It looks like this is going to be the one right here in Jimmy Fallon. So Blood Moon, Dark Offerings, bleed for the Blood Moon. In a colonial-era village, moon worshippers witness a blood moon at their fall festival. They take it as a sign to hunt down any non-followers, including you and your Scream Squad. I do read these from Universal's site themselves, just because they have all the information. But the number one thing, the number one house that everyone was waiting on, Stranger Things 4, try to escape the curse of Vecna. You'll need your squad to resist Vecna's gruesome curse. Like 11, now your chance to stop him once and for all as you take on the scariest season of Stranger Things yet. And that's going to be right back here. So I am so excited for Stranger Things to finally be back. And it's season 4. Cannot wait. I'm hoping season 5 debuts next year so we can get it in time for Horror Nights as well. But maybe it'll just be a couple years away like this one was. And as we continue on, we're going to go ahead and talk about a couple more food items. Next one is we have a pumpkin due de leches puff. Pumpkin and due leches filled puff topped with whipped ganache, pumpkin seeds, and gold accents. Then we're going to have the bloody snowball. Chocolate cake with marshmallows, butter, cream, and desiccated coconuts. Then you have the trick or treat bucket. Chocolate chip creme brulee topped with peanut butter, buttercream, caramel popcorn, candy corn, M&M's, Reese's Pieces, and licorice strips. And the very last thing, an Oreo mummy pop, Oreo cheesecake pop with candy eyes. So that's going to be kind of all the more prominent things that will be in this year's Horror Nights. So I'm really excited for it. And I hope you guys are as well. And unlike years past, this area will not have a scare zone as they moved it farther forward to be the Dr. Oddfellows one, which I do love the fact There's really no escape from it, so you have to go through a scare zone when you first come in the park. And our very last house we're going to talk about is going to be going right here next to where Minion Mayhem is. And this is going to be Yeti Campground Kills. Yeti or not, here they come. You and your friends are about to venture into a 1950s campground overrun by huge, menacing Yetis who rip apart anyone who gets in the way. You must flee to the range tower to escape. So it's going to be really cool. I love the fact that this one's kind of near the front of the park, and I also know that because they always use the Minion queue to try to help out with that. So it's going to be a really fun house. I'm really excited. Out of all the houses, which one are you guys the most excited for? Out of all the food, what are you most excited for? I'm biased towards Oreo cheesecake. And then which scare zone are you looking forward to the most this year for this year's Halloween Horror Nights? Folks, with less than 3 weeks left until Halloween Horror Nights does officially start, like I said, runs from September 1st to November 4th. If you guys are interested in any of the ticket options, I'm going to leave that in the description down below. What I did learn that this year is that if you buy a frequent fear pass for Halloween Horror Nights, you also get 6 months of free Peacock as well. So that's kind of a cool thing to kind of get because of the fact that like they offered something for the fact that they have, one, the prices increased this year for it quite dramatically, I think by $70 or $80, but you do get Peacock with it. So that's really nice to get because that means you can save a little bit of money and watch some of your favorite shows from Universal. So, but with all that being said, as I do head out from our complete guide here for Halloween Horror Nights 2023 this year, I will see y'all next time.